Well, you only have 3 more months in that place. So,
I know, it's insane.
and then who knows, you're living in a van, so then it's going to be really hard for you to
And then I'm
record
just
podcasts.
I'm going to be living in like a teepee or something. Like,
You're camping, actually.
I'm just camping.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to buy David's car from him so that I can live in it because he made that whole
He made that tent in the back. Yep.
in the back. Yeah. Actually,
Absolutely.
funny story. They're here right now because he and his girlfriend are here right now because they're taking that to a festival this weekend so that they can use the tent in the back of it. And so he left today to go like do something, and Meg went to take the car to pharmacy or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on a call and I look up and there's just like smoke billowing from David's car, like under the hood, like just absolute. Like I was like, is it on fire? Like I think this car is like going up in flames right now. So I'm literally on call like, Alice, I have to. We gotta. This is a check-in.
Yeah.
This is a check-in. This check-in's over. I think my brother's car is on fire. So she like turned it off and like it just like kept, and it smelled like gas and fire and smoke.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, but yeah. So maybe I'll buy the car, but it'll just be stationary somewhere.
You have to tow it everywhere you're going.
Yeah, I'm also gonna buy a tow truck.
It's a long con.
It's a long con. Yeah, like my office will be in the tent. Nick's office will be in the tow truck. So it's perfect. We have our own space, our own area.
It's perfect. It's foolproof, honestly.
I mean, I've worked in the bedroom before. I can do it again.
It's so true.
I'm adaptable.
One thing about you,
I adapt.
Well, either way, you're at the end of this situation. So
yes,
whatever comes next will be.
We only have a few more podcasts where I will be having internet issues. So count your lucky stars, y'all.
Before we go on our winter Christmas break.
Yeah, we will be.
We're not wishing that away yet, though. We just came back. We can't be.
We just came back. No, you're so right. You're so right. I am looking forward to a break at some point in my life, but I'm excited to be here.
It's a good segue. Anyway, welcome to the TG1 podcast. Enough about us. We're your hosts on today's episode. I'm actually excited.
You don't actually have to know our last names for this part.
It's just Kate and Nicole.
Yeah, I'm Kate, and you don't need to know that I'm changing my last name because it doesn't actually matter to you.
None of that matters. I'm excited for today's episode.
Me too. We have some fun stuff.
We've got some fun stuff to talk about. I think most of this podcast episode is just going to be us talking about theorizing about the drivers, and not so much covering a lot of news, because Singapore was just so
amazing,
instrumental. It was just like there was so much to talk about. So this is going to be mildly a race recap and then a cover of all the content that came out of this weekend.
And then requested, we will be casting the entire grid in a live action adaptation of Les Mis. Our friend James Coker did an incredible reel about F1 and Les Mis, and everyone knows that's our brand. And so someone said, I need a full casting of the grid as Les Mis characters, and we said, we're on it. So
yes, sir. We're on it.
Anyways, let's talk about Singapore.
Let's talk about Singapore.
The best definitely the best race of the whole season.
For sure. Dare we say it?
Maybe the best race in the past couple seasons. I don't know. I enjoyed every single moment. Every single moment.
I hadn't felt emotions like that in such a long time. We were sitting on the couch and we were like, oh yeah, this is why we like this sport. Like, we were just,
I haven't been that like actively engaged in a race in a while.
Yeah. I was yelling.
Mm-hmm.
I was crying.
I was like grasping Nick's arm. We were both like, like full audible gasps, like screaming a lot. Like, it was so good.
It was delightful. Race. It was everything we'd hoped and more. And obviously last week we were a little skeptical because, you know, we commented on how Helmut Marko was like, I'm worried about the Ferraris in Singapore. And we were like, is he just doing a bit? Is he making us think that we're going to have an exciting race?
Yeah, nope.
And to have Max and Checo knocked out in Q2 in 2023, the year of our Lord Max Verstappen, was absolutely insane. Like
Insane.
I usually am like kind of bored by qualifying. I'm like, I generally know what's gonna happen, but like
Yeah.
the last minute when Liam Lawson came across that line to knock Max out of Q3, you
Unbelievable.
could hear my screams
I
from a
heard them.
different borough. Like
I heard
it
them from
was
Massachusetts. I know it.
it was insane. And I was like, I know tomorrow's race is gonna be good. And you know what? It was.
It was. And you want to know what, Helmet? I don't normally say you're right ever, almost,
Almost never.
but you were right to be scared of the Ferraris, bitch.
When you're right, you're right.
You were right.
Unfortunately,
It wasn't the one we thought.
yeah, unfortunately the race was only good for one Ferrari. Well, Charles didn't do too bad. Obviously, he got fourth, right? But it was just like just a sad, sad time for him.
It was like I was literally like partially overjoyed because I was like, "Fuck yeah, Carlos!" and like I was just like so excited by the race, but partially I was like, "Ferrari's gonna catch these hands." I was like, "My
Yeah.
boy, look how they massacred my boy."
I know, especially because
Oh
at one point Charles was like, "Let me come in." Let me come in for new tires.
yeah,
And they were
like,
like,
"No."
nope, we've decided you're staying out. And I'm like, it's so sad because he wants to do so well and he so desperately wants the approval of the Ferrari team that he just lets them walk all over him. He's in his Bottas era.
No,
And I don't like that.
I'm very upset about it. I'm like personally offended by it.
He's
There's
still,
not a lot I can say about this.
it was very disappointing. But and then George is like, looks like they're gonna sacrifice Leclerc, and you know what? Actually, George, you sacrificed yourself.
Who's gonna sacrifice himself?
George crashing on the second to last lap. It was almost too good of comedic timing. Like the
Literally.
fact that he is basically for the entirety of the race kind of complaining about how Carlos is driving and how he's like not really racing because he's managing his tires. And then it's like, okay, George, well, if you have a problem with it, then do something about it. Like, then pass him. Then be aggressive on your tires and wear your tires down. And he's just kind of bitching and moaning the whole time. And then in the by a millimeter, he just puts it right into the wall.
That was unreal.
I'll say it. I'm glad Lewis got a podium. I've missed Lewis on the podium.
Absolutely. I miss Lewis on the podium so much.
But you know what? Everyone has been asking, and I don't know if I have the answer to this. I don't know what's up, but everyone was like, where was Mercedes during Lewis's podium celebration?
Didn't that happen once before too?
Yes. Yeah, like he gets third place and they don't show up for him.
Third place is beneath them, apparently.
Apparently. I'm like, no one's showing up for Lewis on the podium. Like, do you think he's just like, I've done this too many times? Like, you guys actually you guys like, it's okay, I don't need you there. Or
I don't know. So like, I mean, what did he say the last time this happened? And he was like, thank you guys for, he was like, thank you for wondering and like being concerned, but like it was Australia, I think, and they all had like flights to catch, and then but also their like place was like really far away, and so they like couldn't get there in time or something. I don't know. But
it sounds like a fake excuse.
Yeah.
But I don't speculate on people's relationships, but I mean Lewis is obviously re-signed.
Okay. Back up. Sure, Jan. I don't speculate on people's relationships, she says.
But I just don't know why they wouldn't be happy.
I know.
Is everyone over Lewis and they would have been there for George? Like, what is the truth?
Know.
We'll never know.
We'll actually never know.
Parallel universe us. Hopefully you come through during the full moon when the veil is thin and send us a sign about what happened in your universe, because I'm very curious.
Yeah, let us know.
Also, another thing about Singapore is Sergio causing damage to literally everyone on the grid.
Yes.
That man is reckless. And he serves no penalties whatsoever for hitting Yuki and causing him so much damage he's out on the first lap. And then hitting Albon and costing him points because he caused so much damage to Albon's car. I'm like, dude, you're not even in the contention for the world championship anymore.
Right.
Just stop.
Just stop. Just
enough.
Yeah. He's like, I'm trying to show them that I can do this. Like, he's trying so hard for to like show Red Bull that he is worthy of that second seat. He's just like trying so hard, and I'm like,
So
relax, dude.
hard. It's like, be chill, be cool, my guy. You're trying too hard.
The other thing that we need to talk about that I didn't put on the agenda, but I want to talk about from Singapore is Lance Stroll, who we've been talking about, and someone said that he's just as good as Alonso and
Might
yada
crack.
yada. Yeah, but he had a horrible crash
Mm-hmm.
during qualifying. Right, it was qualifying, right?
Yep.
It's like so bad that he didn't race on Sunday, and they like
Which
didn't even
during,
put a reserve driver in. Like there was only 19 drivers. Like it was really bad.
well, it's because he fucked the car so bad. So,
Yeah.
like, I was sitting next to my friend Bird, and she has a friend who is an intern at Aston Martin. And Lance went into his crash, and I was like, no, I was like, I don't think he's going to race tomorrow. Like, that car is so fucked up. Like, they could work all night, but like the way that he separated the, like,
Yeah.
the cables and like the data cables, like that's going to be kind of tricky to put back together.
Yeah.
And Bird was texting her friend and she was like, yeah, I mean, I think they could, but apparently they only brought like one wing or something that was needed for this race.
Uh,
So he would have been driving with like a shitty car anyway, and he probably would have DNF'd anyway. So they were probably like, let's not waste
yeah.
materials and time and energy on fixing this car when it's absolutely not needed. So who's to say? I mean, we've been talking about Lance retirement rumors for a while now. Do we know what his, if he's been re-signed for 2024? I think it's like people assume it's a given at this point, but like,
Yeah.
is
Let me
it?
see. Yeah, no, he's not. Aston Martin as of right now is TBC. So
So, I
we'll
mean,
see. I mean, I
there's
hope
all,
he's
I
okay though,
also,
because that was like a really scary crash. Like
yeah,
Nick and I watched Rush like literally the night before. Like we were watching Rush, and like when I saw Lance's crash, I was like, that looked so similar to Nikki Lauda's crash. I mean, it goes to show like how much, and we always talk about this, like it just goes to show how much better the safety
mm-hmm,
mechanisms and precautions are on these cars nowadays. But like, it was scary. It was like the way that he hit, and then he spun, and then it was in there. We were both like shocked that no one hit him because he
yeah,
spun like into the middle of the track. It was
yeah.
very scary.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him get out and walk away, so
Yeah,
like we know he's technically
but I
like,
feel like that's like that also just like shakes you up
yeah.
mentally too. So.
Yeah. We'll see. But I saw a rumor that maybe he's not driving in Japan either. I
Mm,
don't think there's any real grounds to that rumor. I think there was a brief tweet about it that had been deleted, but that's
interesting.
potential unsure. And to finally wrap up Singapore, I want to talk about our favorite friendship on the grid.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Carlando because what a beautiful, beautiful thing to witness this weekend. And you know what it really reminded me of?
Tell me.
In Ricky Bobby
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say it.
at the end when Ricky slingshots Cal Naughton Jr. Like that was really, they pulled a Singapore slingshot, and him keeping Lando in DRS range so that George couldn't really pass him was just chef's kiss, iconic team behavior. And while they are not teammates anymore, they really had each other's best interests at heart, and I love that they made it happen. And it
I
just
know.
warmed me deep to my soul that yes, they are competitors, but they also were like, listen, if both of us fuck this up, then neither of us are going to get podiums, and it's going to be worse than if we
Yeah.
try and work
And I
together
mean,
on this
and it
and
wasn't
secure
only
1-2.
just for each other, because like obviously like
Yeah.
Carl, it was like for Carlos's sake too. He was doing that for himself. Like I think if
Right. Right.
anyone that was behind him, he would have done similar things. But I think it was cute that it was Lando.
Yeah. Same.
Loved
But
it.
it was just so special to see them on the podium together again. You know, obviously we saw them at Monaco last year,
Hmm.
on the podium together, which was really
Yeah.
fun. So, you know, some of our favorite people on the grid, really celebrating in style. All right, let's get into the drama.
Yeah. So something that I think we've talked about this on the podcast, but Felipe Massa is just absolutely
Mm-hmm.
digging up skeletons from the past, just trying to reignite drama out of literally nowhere. Like for no reason. He's just like, what if I caused chaos. And like, I kind of love that about him. In a season that's kind of boring, he's like, I'll just cause a little chaos, like
I
for fun.
mean,
And I'm like,
respect it.
okay, cool, great.
He listened to our podcast
Yeah, we
about
said we need, yeah,
Christian, how to be a little gremlin in everyone's lives.
yeah.
That's
He
Felipe
said,
Massa right
I'll
now.
do it. I'll do that.
He said Christian's been
Um,
kind of quiet lately. Time for
yeah.
me to step in.
So, if people don't know the situation, Felipe Massa lost the world championship to Lewis Hamilton in 2008. And he is now coming back and saying that he lost that because of a conspiracy and that he should have won. And he's petitioning for them to overturn the result so that Lewis gets gets one of his world championships taken away and it's
Mm-hmm.
given to Felipe Massa. So obviously Toto weighed in because of course he did. And he said that basically TLDR, he said F1 will be in disarray
Mm-hmm.
if Felipe Massa wins this argument.
Yeah.
Longer terms, he said, I don't think he has a case, to be honest. We're signing up to sporting regulations that are very clear and you commit to as a license holder. If everyone were to open up situations, then the sport would be in disarray, and especially when you look at the full championships. There's so many things that have an influence whether you win or lose that I don't see the case, to be honest. For me, this is like watching a telenovela or soap opera playing out in front of me. Hysterical. But I think it also obviously begs the question about the 2021 World Championship and kind of how, and I think that Toto does kind of stay true to his word here because like they obviously were super upset about that, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like he was
They
gonna.
didn't. Yeah. They didn't contest or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's like, Toto lately has been saying things that I'm like, you would literally never say this if the roles were reversed. But in this case, I think that he is correct and kind of sticking to his words, which is nice. Felipe Massa did kind of comment back to Toto, but he said that Toto talking about this shows that we are on the right path and that people in F1 are realizing the seriousness and importance of our case.
No one gives a
That's
shit
called
about you, Felipe
delusion.
Massa. Like literally, like coming from two Delulu girls, the Deluluist of girls, you're crazy.
Like,
Because also, like, what do you think? Everyone's gonna be like, "Yay, Felipe! Congrats on winning your championship." Lewis celebrated. No one will remember that you maybe won a championship. No one's gonna care. I'm not adding you to our title. You're not getting a spot on our merch line. That's for sure. Get wrecked. No one cares about you.
don't even think about asking us to put you in there. Yeah, it's just
Don't
like,
call me.
don't come to my house. We're done. I just feel like it's kind of, I'm just like, what's the point? And like, why now?
Yeah.
Because it's been
12
16
years, 13
years.
years. Yeah,
16, I
something like
think.
that. Like,
Yeah, I think it's
imagine sitting
16
on
years.
imagine sitting on something for that long and being like, I'm still not over it and I'm going to go to court about it.
Like, this is basically like if Leonardo DiCaprio decided to appeal every Oscar that he didn't win and was like, "Excuse me, actually, Recording Academy, I would like to contest all of these because I should have
I
won
should have
all
won.
of these Oscars, so please advise."
Like, just retire in peace.
Literally.
Retire in peace. Get over it. You should stick to your commentating job and speak when spoken to. Okay? Please.
Former drivers are to be seen and not heard.
Not heard. Exactly. Please.
Okay. Outside of F1, let's get into the drivers. Something that we're super excited about is Zhou Guanyu is re-signed for 2024.
Let's go.
Can't wait to see him continue to bring fashion to our eyeballs every week.
And he's just going to continue to get more and more bold with his fashion choices, which is phenomenal. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's like when you're in high school and you're like freshman year, you're like, I'll just like stick to the trends. And then like by the time you're a senior, you're like, bitch, I do whatever the fuck I want. And I just really feel like he's coming into that
Yeah,
for himself,
absolutely.
and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
Other silly season news. Yuki is rumored to be re-signed and is hoping to be announced this weekend. However, I also was reading something that said that Danny is the favorite to be re-signed first. for AlphaTauri, and then it's a question of whether it will be Yuki or Liam.
Considering, yeah, he's been on in one race, so why wouldn't he be re-signed?
Oh,
sorry.
That one really gotcha. Gotcha good.
I choked on my spit. Just because it's so comical. It's so comical. But also, you know what else would be comical? I was talking to someone about this where I was like, it would be even more funny if Danny didn't get re-signed and it was Liam and Yuki after one race, and he fucked it so bad that Liam Lawson got put in and now he's out. He's done. Like, I would have to laugh. I'd have to laugh to avoid
At that
crying.
point, it would truly be the universe being like,
you're done.
Don't call me. Don't come to my house. We are done.
Literally.
Like, it would just Danny, be like,
you're done racing. Don't even think about it again.
Like, don't
go
try.
do something else.
Like, unbelievable.
Like, it would be pretty funny. Like, I would laugh. I would hee hee ha ha. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely fucking bizarre. Okay, we're gonna talk about some merch now. Merch collections, driver merch collections.
Oh, yes. Esteban just announced his merch collection today.
I did not see that. I have
didn't
to go
see
look.
it?
No, I didn't see it.
It's very mid, which is why I wanted
Classic.
to kind of just I wanted to discuss. He's got some shirts that say Esty Bestie, so
I think
shout out.
Okay, so I think that he announced that
he teased a little bit of it.
Oh,
but
okay.
He launched like there's like a full slideshow of like all the photos.
Got it.
And so huge for Michaela. She loves F1. Obviously.
Oh God, yeah, this is so boring.
# copyright, babes. You better be getting free Esty Bestie merch, at least from Esteban's team for that. And if not, we will be reaching out to them and making sure that happens for you. But it's all, I'm really just like, this is what you came up with?
It's just like different like fonts saying his name.
I don't think anyone is doing anything particularly exciting outside of Danny Rick. Obviously we saw Albon launch was there other things other than the shoes in the clothing line?
There was shoes, there was a keychain, and there was like one other thing. Honestly, people are hating on it. I liked the shoes. I thought they were kind of cool. I don't know if it necessarily made sense as like the first drop, and there was not really any like storytelling behind like
considering
why.
He's not like a big sneakerhead, like
right. I didn't know exactly. No, I didn't like really get the whole like background on it. But I do think that they look pretty cool, and I thought that I think that like what he has done kind of with the marketing of it since has been like kind of funny, but I don't think he's done enough.
I think the marketing has been great, but I think they could have used some of that creative energy from the marketing side to create a better product and like a more interesting product.
Yes, absolutely.
I think Alex is one of the more fun, creative personalities on the grid. Yeah. And so I just expected a little bit more from him when it came to his kind of first foray into his own kind of
I do give him props line. Though for like doing something different and not doing just a shirt that said Albon on it. Like I think there was like some fun thought into like what can I do that's like I think you know what I think it did is I do think it set him up to be known as more of like a lifestyle brand rather than just
he's a contrarian on the grid.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, like
but it's also like your girlfriend is Lily, like one of the coolest most fashionable women in the paddock, and you come out with some beige shoes. Like I wanted more.
Yeah, I think the drivers on the grid with the best merch collections right now are Danny, and that's it.
Pierre's is boring.
Everyone's is just their names. Like everyone is just their names. Like guys, call us for some ideas. Like let's have a little fun with it. Lewis started out really strong with that plus 44 like drops, but I think they're not super consistent, and I want to see more like interesting things. So like here's the thing. Here is why I do like what Albon did is because like I want to see drivers do things that are not a sweatshirt and a t-shirt and a hat. Like I want to see fun things. I want to see things that are like, oh, that's interesting and like that's cool and like that's fun and it's not just a t-shirt with your name on it. I don't want that.
Even if it was a t-shirt, like let's put some design into it. Like let's let's not just have a 5-minute meeting and be like, let's go through all of the fonts on Adobe and see which font looks coolest with my name and then put it on a t-shirt. Like,
Right.
let's there are a lot of creative people out there who would love to let their artwork be known. Why don't you partner with them?
Yes. And like yeah. It's just like also like do things that mean something to you.
Right.
Like let's do some like okay, okay. I have lots of mixed emotions on Alex Albon's collection because like I liked the shoes. I thought they were cool and I like
Mm-hmm.
that he's going in a new direction and like having fun and being unique. But also, he did a whole bunch of promo with his pets and I thought it was going to be an Albon's pets
Right.
line and I wanted that. But like I think other drivers need to kind of take inspiration from something like that and like do something that is about a passion or something they have that's not just their name and like racing. Like Charles could do some cool stuff that's like very music
Mm-hmm.
related or like like something to do with like pianos or like even if it's merch for that side of him, like he could do something like that. I would love to see Joe come up with something that's like streetwear inspired
Mm-hmm.
and like something that's like a little bit different out of the
Yeah.
ordinary, even if it is like you know a really nice button down or something with like his like initials or something that it's like not like out in your face, but like I think he could design something like super cool. Like I
Yeah.
would love to see him do a collection of like bags or like crossbodies because like he wears crossbodies a lot and
Mm-hmm.
like that would be sick. I
Yeah.
feel like they just need to be creative and like do things that are a little outside the box and like take a little bit of time to come up with a concept. But like use your personal life, do things that like mean something to you and it's not just like your name.
Like we appreciate you for the personalities and the interests that you have. Like, let's showcase that,
Yeah,
and we will purchase those things because of it. You know.
exactly.
So let's see what else Alex Albon has in his back pocket when it
Mhm.
comes to merch. But this is our call to the drivers to step it up.
Up to the streets.
I did see a cheeky little rumor today
Oh, tell me
that
about it.
Audi, obviously we know Audi is coming in 2026, and that they are eyeing a Bottas Sainz driver pairing, which would be kind of insane because we've
I do think that
been
we kind of have like almost put that together though because we said that Audi's coming in and we were like we know that they're looking at Carlos and
mhm.
then
They're
Bottas.
taking over Sauber,
Yeah, and
Alfa
like he's
Romeo,
already
right?
there,
Yeah.
and so it's like, is that interesting? I mean, we think Valtteri's gonna retire,
Yeah,
so
that's the only thing is like I'm like
but
he
like maybe
seems
if they
so
give him
checked
enough,
out.
like
That's 3 years from now.
yeah, that's
Like that's the
true.
2026 season. Like that's a long time for him.
Yeah,
Unless he pulls an Alonso, takes a bit of a break, comes back. But I just saw that rumor and I was like, doesn't feel right in my soul. But
no, I feel like that would be a
I
very
could be
interesting
surprised,
partnership, but you never know.
and not because obviously we love Bottas, but like I just was like, I'll keep it in the back pocket, but I'm not really putting any faith
Yeah,
behind that rumor.
yeah, we love a good rumor though. Love to
We
hear
do.
it. Love to hear a new rumor pop up.
All right, before we get into Les Mis, this weekend was our Super Bowl in terms
Literally,
of thirst trap content. This weekend was the reason for the season, the reason why TG1F was created. Uh,
yes,
we had the girls fighting for thirstiest ice bath photo on the feed.
like
Teams
unbelievable.
were clamoring they couldn't get them up fast enough. They said the girlies want and the girlies are gonna get. And we
They're
said,
gonna get.
thank you, mother. We are being fed. And I wanted to do a quick rundown. Obviously, if you've been listening to us, you know Kate and I are perpetually in our Dance Moms era.
Yeah, pyramid.
So it's time to do the Abby Lee Miller Pyramid of Greatness.
Yes.
Okay, so for your viewing pleasure, I have most of the photos. All
Okay.
right. For me, bottom of the pyramid is this one of Logan.
Bottom of the pyramid. Okay, because we're only
It's
doing six,
we're
right?
only doing top 6, right?
Can we? Okay, how many are there? 16. Damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Bottom of the pyramid for me. It surprised me, but I wish he was wet.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think we can even count this because he's not in an ice bath.
It's suggestive. It's suggestive that he was going to be in an ice bath at some point.
Okay.
I'll give it to him. It is a thirsty photo from this weekend.
Okay, fair enough.
unlike a lot of photos we've seen from Logan before. So I'm going to give him a spot on the bottom of the pyramid.
Okay.
Next weekend, I'm hoping for something better, but you know what? Bottom of the pyramid. He has a chance to improve.
That's fair. That's fair. Along the same lines, I will put George second place bottom for this one. It has been a minute since we've gotten a shirtless George photo.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
He's moved on to his feet, so...
He's in his feet era. But he is partially clothed in this, so that is at the bottom. Let's see. Second row. Oh, one more, right?
Yep, we got one more on the bottom.
One more on the bottom, I think, is this Lando Oscar. Yep. I think it's cute and fun, but it's just that. It's cute and fun.
It's cute and fun. It's not... It's cheeky. Yeah. It's like, okay... Lando's got a little toy or something in his bath. Yeah. Oscar is... And he's there, you know?
Yeah. Middle of the pyramid? I'm giving it to K-Mag.
I was going to say, K-Mag is up there. K-Mag is giving third place for sure.
It's the tattoo.
It's a tattoo.
It's him doing some thirsty content for the first time. It's him having a cheeky little laugh in the tub. I mean, that was one of the first ones we saw too, and I was like, he started the trend. It's him being a trendsetter.
He set the tone for the weekend.
Yeah, I'm like super into it. I'm really obsessed with it. So he's definitely middle of the pyramid.
I think next for me, we may disagree on this one, is this one.
Yeah.
I think this is second place because it's very cute. It's very playful.
It's very female gaze. But I want
very like more.
Female gaze POV. Like that is like point of view. Like that is like you took that and he's like, oh, give me the camera back. Like don't take a photo. Like
he's like, don't splash me.
I literally am like I'm cheesing looking at this.
Oh. And then I think we can be in agreement on what takes the cake here this weekend to the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, it's Carlos.
It's Carlos. Carlos, you've done it again, sweetie. Top of the pyramid.
Okay, I kind of feel like I need to replace someone on the pyramid, though, because this photo of Lando deserves...
I know. It deserves an honorable mention.
Bottom of the pyramid, this is going to replace George for me.
Okay.
Because George is very much not ice bath. He was just taking his thing. So this is replacing George. I think it's still bottom of the pyramid because I know that Lando can do even better. And he's not technically in an ice bath, but I know that he was just in one.
Yeah. But, I mean,
my God.
All things considered, we ate this weekend.
Yeah. It's the little patch of chest hair in between his chesticles. Do you see this?
Yeah. It's with his shark tooth necklace.
It's unbelievable.
It's the abs. The abs are abbing.
It is. The abs are abbing.
The abs are. He said he's.
It's the
flexing.
face. He's absolutely voguing.
Here's the thing, Rebecca, sweetie, you've been teaching Carlos his angles, haven't you? You said,
look at those cheekbones.
Let me show you how to pose, baby. And he's picking up what you're putting down.
I'm like, I have like chills right now. Like I'm literally like, I'm chilled looking at this.
Like I'm in my own
hot, but
I need an ice bath after seeing this week's pyramid.
My God. Yeah, it's was a lot.
Feeling the burn. So they've really kind of set the precedent now and give a mouse a cookie.
You know who I was disappointed with their ice bath content? Pierre. It was also fine.
We didn't get anything from Lewis. Didn't love that.
I know.
You know who else I was upset about?
Who?
Botaz. Going in his ice bath with fucking full clothes on?
Like, buddy, we've seen you naked so many times.
We've seen you fully naked so many times. And you're gonna wear your full kit. Okay, that's fine. Hey.
Whatever.
Leave a little bit to the imagination. That's fine. She said, I don't need that. And I respect it.
That's fine. It's fine. We're fine with it, to be honest. Okay. Now for the pièce de résistance. Les Mis. Do you hear the people sing? Singing the songs of angry men is the music of the people that will not be slaves again. So
Um,
I pulled the top 10 characters
Perfect.
from
And
Les
so,
Mis.
just a little backstory. Kate and I, if this is your first time listening, our love for Les Mis, I don't even know really where it started between the two of us. All I know is that we immediately latched onto the fact that we both loved Les Mis, and whenever we're drunk, we break into song and
A
dance.
two-woman show.
A two-woman show. When we were when we were in Italy and we were at dinner with everyone, we were like, "Hey guys, are you guys ready for a 3-hour trip to Monza tomorrow? Because we're getting into Les Mis. Kate and I are going to do a two-woman show for you." And
And
everyone
they
was
were all
like,
like,
"Yay!"
they were like, ha 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 ha, I'm so scared.
So, if you ever include us and copious amounts of alcohol, you will be getting a Les Mis song.
Or 10.
So, or 10. Depends on the mood.
So, yeah, so I pulled the 10 like main characters
Can you
from Les
send that to me?
Mis. It's in the agenda.
Oh, thank you.
And I just figured we'll go down them and cast someone on the grid for each of them.
Perfect.
So, the first person is obviously Jean Valjean, 24601. He stole a loaf of bread. Who on the grid? Well, here, I'm gonna tell you all the characters first so that everyone
Okay.
can kind of start noodling on their own ideas. We have Jean Valjean, Fantine, who, and I'll say in the movies, you know, if people are like not a Les Mis buff. So Jean Valjean was Hugh Jackman in the movie. Fantine was Anne Hathaway's character. Eponine was Samantha Bark. Samantha Bark. She was like also was Eponine in the play.
West End.
The
Yep.
West End play.
With Nick Jonas.
She's so fucking good. Then there's Cosette, who was Amanda Seyfried. Javert, Russell Crowe, Inspector Javert. Gavroche, don't know who the kid who played him was, but he was like the little guy, the little kid who would run around. He was like a little rascal. So freaking cute. Loved him. So that's Gavroche. Then there's Marius, who obviously was Eddie Redmayne, and he is like the romantic lead of the play. There's the bishop, who takes in Jean Valjean at the beginning of the play, and kind of sets him on this path of like righteousness. The innkeeper, Sacha Baron
It's kind of
Cohen.
crazy that you chose the bishop versus Marius's friend.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I can add him.
Can we do him instead of the bishop?
Well, I'm doing the bishop too.
Oh, okay.
Who's the friend's name? I couldn't.
She's got ideas for the bishop. Let's see.
It was Aaron Tveit's character.
Mabuff. Mabuff. Mabuff.
Really?
Mabu? I don't know.
Mabu? Mabu.
I don't know. I don't know with that F.
Okay, screaming. Love that. Then we have the bishop. Then we have the innkeeper, who is Sacha Baron Cohen. And the innkeeper's wife, who is Helena Bonham Carter, the comic relief of the show. And then I'm going to put in an audible at the end here. Man under cart. The man under the cart, who Valjean saves. And then later on in the play, he saves Jean Valjean.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, great. Perfect. I've got ideas.
Okay, so let's start off with our main character, Jean Valjean, number 24601. Who are we thinking is essentially the main character of the F1 grid?
I mean, Jean Valjean is essentially a Christ figure. He's persecuted for simply being a good man. So I'm gonna have to go with Lewis.
Same.
I'm gonna have to say Jean Valjean is Lewis Hamilton.
He's always trying to help people. You either love him or you hate him. He's always trying to do the right thing. Sometimes it doesn't go the right way.
But his heart's in the right place.
His heart is in the right place. I would agree with Lewis Hamilton as Jean Valjean.
Great. Love that for us.
So I want to go direct opposite to Jean Valjean, and we're going to do Inspector Javert. Mm-hmm. Now, Inspector Javert is a very interesting character because he is technically the villain of Les Mis. Mm-hmm. However, this man is just doing his job. This man is just simply doing his job, and he is, you know, he really takes his job seriously. And does he go a little hard for it? Yes. Does he go a little above and beyond? Yes. Does he have a personal vendetta against Jean Valjean? Also, yes. I don't think that he is like as serious of a villain as sometimes he is thought of. And that might be me being a villain sympathizer, but
It's not an excuse. Javert gonna let it go. He's Felipe Massa in this situation, okay?
okay, so Javert is Felipe Massa actually exactly because Javert is trying to he's Massa's trying to get Lewis for his old championship and Javert is, and that is the piece of bread.
He said, "You will never escape me. You have committed a sin against me personally, and I will not let it die."
Okay, screaming. So Jean Valjean is Lewis and Javert is Felipe Massa.
Yes.
Done. We did say we are going to do the grid, but I don't care. This is everyone in the F1 universe is being put in this play.
If we've talked about you, you're eligible for assignment.
Yeah, and you will be getting a call. You're getting a call to perform. Fantine, Anne Hathaway's character in the play, she is a very like innocent woman who's just kind of like corrupted because of poor circumstances. She works at a factory and has a daughter who she had with her husband who left her, just kind of cheated on her and ran out on her.
I think she got knocked up, no?
No, I think she was like she was with someone, then he left.
Oh.
So yeah, she got knocked up, but he left her. I'm pretty sure, or he died. I can't really remember. But so she has a daughter who she sends away to live with an innkeeper man and his wife, and she pays for her daughter to live there because she thinks she's giving her a better life than she would have with her. So she works at this factory. The other factory workers, including Hannah Waddingham, aka Rebecca from Ted Lasso, do get her kicked out of her job, do get her fired, and because the foreman tries to hit on her too much, and they're like, oh shit, she has a daughter, he's not gonna like that, get her out of here because we want her money. And so they get her fired. She has nowhere to go, she's homeless, she's poor, she ends up having to become a prostitute. She like sells her teeth, she sells her hair.
Kate's really just getting into the whole plot of the
movie.
In
case people do not know, I want to set the scene of who these people are. She has to sell everything. She's selling her body by the end, and then she ends up dying probably of like the Black Plague because she's just like living outside being a prostitute. So
she dies a martyr.
She does die a martyr.
Okay, yeah. So we love
she
Fantine.
Dies. We love Fantine. She has one of the most incredible songs in the whole play.
She dreamed a dream of time gone by. Okay,
she was dreaming a dream. That's for sure.
And you know who can relate about dreaming a dream?
Who?
The two girls.
Actually, so we're Fantine.
One of us
on any given day, one of us is the understudy of Fantine.
But realistically, I'm thinking Alex Albon.
Okay, that's interesting.
I just think that obviously he's kind of the Zayn Malik of the F1 grid, right? He's got his mom and his sisters, and he's kind of like been supporting them, and that's why he's giving Fantine energy.
Okay.
As, you know, kind of just doing what it takes.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Do you have a different answer?
I'll accept that answer. Okay. I like that.
Put it into the record.
Next is Eponine, one of my just favorite characters. Eponine has a nice character arc in this. She begins as like the spoiled daughter of the innkeeper and his wife, and so basically Cosette, who we'll get to next, is kind of like treated like trash, and they like love Eponine because that's their real daughter, and she's like very spoiled and like always has like the nicest clothes and whatever, and is just like a little brat. And then when you meet her later on, she's kind of has become like a street rat. She's like kind of she's
part of the resistance.
She's been poisoned by her parents, that now she like helps them like run scams on the street, and she's trying to, but she's also being part of the resistance. She's one of like the rebels. And basically the big thing about Eponine is she is in love with Marius, who then in turn falls in love with Cosette. And so Eponine is just like, that's my man, but he's never actually been my man, and then ends up sacrificing herself because she'd rather kind of die helping Marius than not be with him.
It's a real unrequited love situation.
And extremely.
For that reason, I'm giving Eponine to Yuki.
Okay. For Pierre?
For Pierre.
I was like, is Pierre Marius?
In this, I'm not casting Pierre as Marius in this setting.
But in Yuki's...
But Yuki is singing what is the title of the song that she sings? Why am I blanking on it? On My Own.
On
That's Yuki.
my own, wishing he's
Beside me. Exactly.
On
That's
my own. That's literally maybe the biggest fucking banger song in the whole movie. Like, I love that song.
That's my rationale.
Okay, let me see here. I was thinking about this earlier and I felt like I had a good one, but I don't remember what it was. Okay, I am actually going to put Eponine. I am going to be casting Carlos
Okay.
as Eponine.
I can respect that.
Because for me, I think that Eponine has a really good heart and she just really wants to be like loved and accepted and celebrated for like who she is and not just kind of like what she can do for other people. Because like, you know, when Marius has her like find out where Cosette lives and she's just like, yeah, okay, classic, he knows that I'll do that for him and I like know things and can do things, but I wish he would just like me for me and what I can bring to the table. And I feel like everywhere that Carlos has been, he's kind of just been overshadowed by something.
Mm-hmm.
So like when he was on McLaren, I feel like they were very equal, but McLaren very much did bring Lando in as their like future of the team. And I think before that he was at Renault and he was with Alonso, wasn't he?
No.
Who was he with?
Nico Hulkenberg.
Okay. Well, I think no one really cared about that team anyways. But and then he goes to Ferrari and like obviously Charles is like head boy of Ferrari and so I feel like Carlos is always like doing really good things and trying really hard and I think now he's starting to get his praise, but I think a lot of times people are almost rooting against him and like choosing someone over him. And so I'm going to put Carlos as Eponine.
Great.
Next up is Cosette. She is the young girl. She's Fantine's daughter. She was living with the innkeeper and his wife. They were horrible to her, treated her as a slave. And then Valjean came in to save her and kind of like became her surrogate father. For the rest of the play, she falls in love with Marius. She's just like this like angelic, good person throughout the whole show. Can't really do any wrong. Is always just like sweet and nice and good and loving.
I'm giving it to Charles.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Put on our casting director hats. We gotta post the list on the cafeteria wall.
Callbacks.
Callbacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would also love to hear Charles play the piano and also sing the Cosette Marius fucking song. I feel like that would be epic. It would be like so good.
New Make-A-Wish just dropped.
New Make-A-Wish just dropped. Okay, Gavroche, the little kid that is just like runs around. He's like a little street urchin, but he's like so cute and fun and is part of the resistance. Vive La France. And he's the best. And that's obviously Yuki Tsunoda for me.
See, I'm giving it to Lando.
That's fair too.
We will have to have callbacks for Gavroche so Yuki and Lando can come in to really decide.
And Yuki and Carlos can fight over Eponine.
Yeah, so. Yuki's going out for every role.
Yuki is getting a part in this play if it kills him. He's like, I will go for every character. Put me in, coach. One man show. Okay, next up is Marius, romantic lead of the play. He is a rich guy who acts poor, as Eponine says, and leads kind of the resistance with his friend, but falls in love with Cosette and then kind of has to choose whether he stays with his friends or goes for the girl, and he does a little bit of both.
Marius kind of sucks. So I think I'm going to give Marius to George.
Interesting. Okay.
What's your thoughts?
I'm going to give him to Lance.
Okay, that was my second guess. That was my second choice.
Because obviously Lance comes from a very privileged background and his dad does a lot for him, but I think he wants to be respected for just being himself and he doesn't really want to play up that, at least anymore. I think for a while he did play that up, but I think now he just like really wants to be respected as a race car driver on his own right. And I think he's kind of like, in terms of, you know, all the drama and rumors going on, I think he's at a point in his life where he has to make a choice whether he is going to do his own thing, follow his Cosette somewhere, or stay with his friends, stay with what he is used to, which is F1.
That's fair. I respect that.
And now for my boo, Mayboth. aka marries his best friend, who is kind of an asshole a little bit. He's very much the leader of the resistance, and it's just like, oh, Marius, you saw a girl? Fuck you. Die next to me. And he's like really mad about it. He's a huge cock block. He does not want Marius to like a girl. Girls have cooties to Mabu.
My boo. Even that. I'm trying to think who would be a good one. Honestly, he's giving big Danny vibes.
Oh, tell me why.
Just because I feel like Danny is such a boy's boy. Like, he's such it for the guys.
Yeah.
Like, he's for his friends through and through. Like, he's picking them over a girl 100% of the time, I think. So, and for that reason, that's why he is getting the role.
Okay.
Do I think he's smart enough to lead the resistance? Absolutely not. Do I think he's dumb enough to die for a stupid cause? Absolutely.
Let's see. Okay, but what if Lewis was Mabu? Because he would never let a woman in there. He said, Nicole Scherzinger, you're the love of my life. But guess what I like more? My cars. The
My cars.
resistance.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Lewis could be a Mabu. I also feel as though I might give this to Fernando Alonso because I think that he just takes himself very seriously, and I think he takes the sport of F1 so seriously that I feel like he'd be like, "Oh, you want to go have fun? Buckle up, buckle down."
To be fair, I was gonna give Javert to Alonso, but Felipe Massa obviously takes.
It was an obvious choice. Okay, the next is the bishop, who takes Valjean in, gives him a place to stay, he gives him food, he gives him kindness, and kind of sets him off on his path of righteousness.
From the grave, Niki Lauda is being cast as the bishop in this role.
Okay, screaming.
Lewis said, I'm gonna drive for you one day, and he said, I'm gonna make that happen for you, babes. And he's the reason why Lewis is successful. So
I'm also gonna.
He gave him the silver candlestick.
You're right. I'm also going to make this a callback situation and put Valtteri Bottas in there. Valtteri Bottas. And because I do think that he supported Lewis through a lot of trials and tribulations and was like a very steadfast partner and kind of gave up probably some trophies of his own, aka some candlesticks of his own, in order to help Lewis as a true friend and teammate, and like
that's fair.
Always stuck up for him when things were happening. And so I will go ahead and give that to. Now I'm gonna do both of these at once because they are the two most fun and they are a package deal. The innkeeper and the innkeeper's wife. The comic relief, two of the best characters in the whole play. I love them. And personally, I'm giving it to Danny and Max.
Okay.
Because I think the innkeeper is absolutely fucking ridiculous, and that's Danny. And the innkeeper's wife wants to take herself a little more seriously, but like gets roped into his shenanigans a lot. And I think that's Max, because I think Max really comes out of his shell. And I think a lot of time, like, I don't know, I think that that's very much a Danny-Max relationship.
I'll give you that.
I think that's like a perfect combo. I would love it. I think that we cast Danny the last time we did this when we were doing our 4-man show.
Yeah, I think
cast
so
Danny
too.
As the innkeeper.
I think so too.
And last but not least, the man under the cart. This is a man who was in trouble, was saved by Jean Valjean, and then in turn later, when Jean Valjean needed help, was like, "Oh my God, you saved my life. Let me help you."
I think I'm going with Checo.
Yeah,
Checo, I feel like is loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like he almost feels like he was saved from having to retire by Red Bull. And now he's like, I guess I'll just help you guys with whatever you need to do now.
100%. Exactly.
So, yeah, perfect. Checo is man under cart. And starring in Les Mis, Checo as man under cart. It's like when you're like, I was the rock in the school play.
And he'll be thankful for that part, okay?
He will be. And he'll stay until the routine is clean.
He's clean.
So anyways, guys, we will be selling tickets for our version of Les Mis. This is a new Make-A-Wish where we will be trying to get all of these people to come perform. At least do a table read.
Actually, it would be
At
funnier
the bare minimum, a table read.
they have to watch the movie and then from memory have to remember
Yeah,
what it is.
exactly. Yes. We will play the music. We will play the soundtrack so
Yeah.
they can kind of,
Yeah.
but they will have to do their solos.
Yeah, it'll be perfect. A good charity event.
It's so good. I guess that can replace the fashion show that doesn't happen anymore.
So true. So true.
Okay, it's time for the girls'
girls' room.
So, first things first is Rebecca made her first real appearance as an F1 WAG. She was in Singapore with Carlos, and there was lots of videos of them celebrating his win at the club and just kind of like dancing and partying. And you know what? I think she's really beautiful, and I think she seems really fun. I do miss Isa a lot, but it's kind of like you can't, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And we can't fault Rebecca for anything just because we
No,
liked
obviously
Isa.
not. Obviously not.
But they seemed like they were having a lot of fun together. But I do think what's interesting that's been going on with like the Carlos Isa breakup is that Isa is day and night on social media now. She's like all over. She's posting a lot of more like personal stuff. She's having like fun on TikTok. She's having fun on Instagram Reels. She's just like showing like a more personal side to her. And I'm kind of wondering whose decision or like why was it so private between the two of them? Was it more Carlos being like, I don't want to share stuff about us? And maybe she was just kind of sick of it and she was like, I just like want to be able to show off like, who I'm dating or what I'm doing. And so I'm like wondering if that was like a thing or like kind of whose thought it was to keep everything so private, because for so long we barely knew anything. And like what we knew from Issa was when she was kind of like being a content creator and stuff. But I feel like now we're like seeing a whole new like personality.
Yeah, no, that's
her.
That's so fair.
So I'm intrigued, and I wonder if it will be similar or different with Rebecca, especially since she is, pretty famous in her own right at the start of their relationship. So
yeah,
interesting to see how that develops.
Next on the list is Jerry
Hallowell Horner.
Hallowell Horner is a young adult author. She said,
She's writing a book.
I'm getting in on this book talk business, and I'm writing a fantasy book. And I did a little research today. It is called Rosie Frost and the Falcon Queen.
Like, I'm screaming.
And I'll read the synopsis. A sweeping adventure filled with a hidden island, family secrets, shocking betrayals, amazing music, and girl power by iconic Spice Girl, songwriter, and author Jerry Hallowell Horner. It's time to find your power. Suddenly orphaned and alone, Rosie Frost is sent to the mysterious Bloodstone Island, home not only to a school for extraordinary teens, but also a sanctuary for endangered species. There, Rosie confronts a menacing deputy headmaster, a group of mean kids intent on destroying her, and shocking family secrets. She also discovers that history can come to life in ways she never could have imagined. When the island itself comes under threat, Rosie knows she must enter and win the Falcon Queen Games in a desperate bid to save it. But Rosie can't do it alone. She finds that believing in herself and her friends is the first step to finding the power she never knew she had.
Cute.
Asterisk. All books contain a QR code with access to original songs by Jerry Hallowell Horner. So she's also done a little soundtrack to your listening for this book. So we will be doing a book club for this book. So
we're doing an actual book club, and similar to how we manifested we would have Gunther on to discuss his book, we're manifesting we're getting Jerry on this podcast to talk about this book.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
we're getting her on to do a fireside chat about this book. And we will be asking her if she has read Sarah J. Maas, since she's diving into the world of fantasy.
If you are going to dip your toes in the fantasy world, you better have read the classics, okay?
Do your research.
Do your research. So I'm
respect
very excited
your
about
elders. That. Respect your elders and the people that did it first.
I truly can't wait to see how this pans out. The release date is October 7th, something like that. It comes out pretty soon.
Amazing.
So stay tuned. We'll have a little sign-up sheet for book club notices, but I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait. That's going to be a really good one.
Okay, quickly, a couple people have been in the DMs, and this is not really F1 related, but a couple months ago we covered the Alonso Taylor Swift dating rumors. And some people would like our commentary on Taylor boomeranging away from Alonso to dating another sport athlete, Travis Kelsey. And if we think those rumors are true, I hope they're true because I think Taylor deserves a hot himbo.
Agreed.
I think that she just deserves a man who knows that she's cooler than him. And he's like, I'm going to play my silly games on the field and I'm going to be really supportive of you. So I hope she gets that.
I agree. Yeah, dropping Easter eggs left and right about it too. They're both having fun with it. Dropping some hints and like playing up on the rumors, but she was wearing an opal necklace, which is his birthstone.
This is birthstone, so obviously 2
Obviously
plus
they're
2 equals
dating.
4. They're dating, they're in love. So
like we be knowing.
It's, Alonso is obviously heartbroken over
Of course.
Taylor moving on so fast, but we hope
Well,
that...
she did move on after Alonso to Maddie Healy,
So true.
who has now since moved on in his own right as well.
Everyone is moving on.
Everyone's moving on.
You know who's not moving on?
Who?
Felipe Massa. You can learn a thing or two.
You can learn a thing or two from all these celebrities that are just moving on.
Anyway, enough for the girls' room. We've gone so long today.
So long.
Please forgive us, but we hope you had fun. We loved talking about this. I think if Kate and I could just have a podcast where we literally just talked about musicals and cast F1 drivers, we would.
So let us know what your next musical you guys want from us, and we'll see.
But I'm very much looking forward to hearing your requests on that one. We got to get out of here.
We have a manifest minute.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yes. So we have a manifest minute from our listener named Leanne. And Leanne is turning 30 this week, actually. So happy birthday, Leanne, if it's already happened, or happy early birthday if it hasn't happened yet. But to celebrate, she's taking a trip with her husband and her parents to Japan to attend the Japanese Grand Prix this weekend.
Fun.
So much fun. Her husband and she are both major Formula One fans, and aside from a Lewis Yuki podium, huge, love that. She's asking for good vibes and manifestation from our community for a positive start for her next decade of life. She's had a really tough couple of years at the end of her 20s, with some big life transitions, a big move, and mental health challenges that she's been trying really hard to overcome. And she booked this trip to celebrate her birthday by doing something that would make her the happiest while also symbolizing a turning point in her life. So she's hoping that this manifest not only represents a happy birthday from all of us, but some encouragement from the community to embrace the next decade with confidence, happiness, and peace. Love that so much. So we're just going to go right into this. So if everyone can please close your eyes, take a big deep breath in and a big deep breath out. And we're all just going to think of our friend Leanne. And first, we're going to focus on this weekend because I think everyone wants to do a little manifesting for the Japanese Grand Prix. I want everyone to think about how happy we all were to see Lewis on the podium in Singapore, and think about that happening again. And then not only think about Lewis on the podium, but think of hometown hero Yuki Tsunoda.
Yuki needs this after the
Yuki
past couple
needs
races.
this too. So thank you, Leanne, because Yuki is saying thank you because he needs this. And we're thinking about them on the 2 top steps of the podium. Let's give them the 2 top steps.
Yeah.
You can choose who's P1 and who's P2 in your own brain. But we're having Lewis and we're having Yuki on the podium, and we're all just going to think about that. And if you play any sort of fantasy games or anything like that, put them up there as a little extra manifest. But for the second half of this manifest minute, I want everyone to think about something that they're working to overcome, or kind of what it feels like to really start a new chapter of anything. Starting a new chapter of a book, getting a new job, turning a new age, a big milestone, anything like that. It can be something that's happening to you now, something that you're thinking about that's happening, soon in the future, or something that has happened to you in the recent past. And you can kind of remember how you felt as you were kind of heading into this new chapter of life. You might be a little anxious. You might be a little nervous, kind of unsure what's going to happen. But, thinking that as long as you are kind to yourself and speak nicely to yourself, give yourself love, and surround yourself with people that love and care about you, that you can really do anything that you set your mind to, and that, you know, things, endings and beginnings can be really scary, but they are just an opportunity for us to create a life that is beautiful and very authentic and true to ourselves. So everyone kind of think of those feelings and send that love and support and hope and excitement to our friend Leanne for her birthday and for this new decade of life. I think as you move forward this week, just making sure that you're being kind to yourself and you're supporting yourself. And if you are someone that likes to give advice to people or help people with their own, insecurities and problems, make sure that you're speaking to yourself in that exact same way, and you are showing yourself as much grace as you show to the people in your life. And yeah, happy birthday to Lan, and everyone just kind of send all that positivity to Leanne and send some happy birthday love and wishes. And we'll seal that in with a big deep breath in and a big deep breath out. And on that happy, happy note, we'll be back next week. But in the meantime,
We'll see you
we'll
on
see
the
you on the
internet.
internet.
Bye.
Bye.